Hi everyone, thank you for joining us today for our webinar. My name's Harry, I'm one of the members of the industry marketing team here at Houzz. For today's session, I'll be discussing the factors that homeowners take into consideration when they are deciding which home renovation professional they want to hire. Just for a little housekeeping before we get started, our session is moderated, so if you have any questions, please submit through the chat feature, which you'll find on the lower right-hand side of your window. If we don't have time to get to your question, one of our team members will follow up directly after the webinar, so don't worry. In today's webinar, we want to dive into the mind of a homeowner that are researching pros for their home improvement projects. When a homeowner is looking for home improvement pros to hire, what about your website or house profile? How does it make a good impression? When clients do reach out, regarding your services, what gives them confidence to hire you? We'll cover 10 crucial criteria that homeowners are using to judge every pro and offer tips how you can demonstrate your credibility with these potential clients. First up, we have service provided. Now, this is probably one of the most important things because we will match this up to your category. As you can see here, this is an appliance company. So obviously the service that provided on Houzz will match these services. Internally on Houzz as well, when people come through the project match feature tool, they will look at these services as we are offering to get quotes on these and then recommend a professional. So there's a number of ways you can indicate what type of work you do. You can cover them in more detail. Obviously, you highlight the service providers in your edit about page, and you can go through and tick box all the services that are relevant to your business or the service that you want to take on as a company. An example, we have LW Kitchens. They've included detail offering of their services, and specific services as a company that you offer can help homeowners know for sure that you're qualified or willing to even consider the project. So it gets rid of a lot of time wasters, and you should only be getting projects come through that are relevant to your business.
Next up would be reviews. Reviews, as everyone knows, is one of the most important criteria on your profile, as this builds trust within you and the client. So with reviews, what's really important is, right, even before a client hires you or anything, they really get to see the previous feedback from original clients you've had in the past. As I mentioned, that already builds the trust, so that this way they won't be shied away by even contacting you. Our House and Home study found that 83% of potential clients consider reviews highly important when selecting which pro to hire. With these reviews, as I mentioned, it builds trust, and a business review article found that businesses that respond to reviews receive 12% more reviews than their average star rating tends to increase over time. The Houzz platform makes it really easy to respond to these clients. For good reviews, simply just thank the client and share something you enjoyed about the project. Once again, when a client leaves reviews and you respond to a positive or negative feedback, that shows your potential new client that trust already. So reach out to the client once you've had the project done with. So in conclusion, reviews are important. Make sure that every time you've finished a project with a client, to ask them to just send you a review, which is easily done through your profile.
Yeah, definitely. I can't reiterate this enough. Reviews are probably the most important thing. These potential clients never met you, never seen your brand. Even when you hire products online or go to the movies or go to the cinema, you're more inclined to look at reviews. It just makes you feel at ease that other people have had a great experience, and this is what's going to really reflect on your business. Completed projects. Now, this kind of relates back to the photography of your work. Having beautiful photos, before and after photos, the completed transition. In the House and Home study, we found that 6 in 10 people want a pro that's experienced with their project scope. About 4 in 10 want the pro to have experience with the design style and aesthetic that the client wants for their project. So if you have a real nice mix of different portfolio, you're just kind of trying to attract all the different type of clients that are potentially on Houzz. It's completely separate to the word of mouth approach, because obviously it's normally like for like. This allows you to kind of get different styles, more design-led clients, because they see such a broad variety of your work. What can you do to get the most out of your photos? I think the first and foremost has to be the best quality photos. You know, it does pay to hire a professional photographer. Houzz has a photographer network, so if you can, you know, if you haven't got a photographer or haven't got a friend or a relative that can obviously do the photos for you, we actually provide in certain areas, you know, part of the photographer network. It's easy to find them, they're on there. It's on actually houzz.com, get photos for more info, and they have, you know, discounted because you're on the actual platform itself. Number two, lots of pros put the rights to get up photos of completed project in their contacts and their clients. Asking the homeowners for the permission before the project begins will make it smoother when it comes to actually scheduling the shoot and actually posting them online. Having that in the contract also gives you the legal permission to take the photos. You know, it's very important. Your photos are embedded into the site, but it's great to obviously have that kind of that legalization that you can actually use these photos and not to come and bite you back. And then lastly, you know, many pros recommend scheduling the photo shoot as the project is done, you know, before the homeowners have settled into the space and while they're, you know, still unaccustomed to the actual professionals working their home. You actually can get in there and get a good shot before obviously it gets messy, or it can be a bit of a nightmare going back to the project. So yeah, so just making sure that, you know, you've got really beautiful photos that represent your work, because, you know, photos speak a lot louder than words. They can see the level and the standard of your work.
Licensing certifications really demonstrates the necessary regulations you need to for the standards of the work that you are licensing, and that gives confidence to homeowners. So if you are ARB registered or are with REBA, it's really good to clarify that, as well as you know, for interior designers, showing that you're part of the British Institute of Interior Designers. Once again, that just really builds that trust. What do you think, Harry, about these?
Yeah, I mean, it's really important. I mean, with these affiliations, they've got such a big page and a long list of members. You know, you will be listed under their actual official Houzz page. Now, if you look at the ARB or REBA, for example, they have a big, beautiful association page on the Houzz platform, and you'll be listed under their members. If they directly want a member that's part of that affiliation, whatever it may be, they can look in that list of members, they can narrow it down by a narrow search locally, and they can find you guys. On top of that, it gives you that credibility when people land your profile either way, and they see them affiliations and they see them licenses that they've got on the platform as well. As you can see on the right hand side, they will feature below your Houzz awards and Houzz badges, which we'll get onto in a bit. But it's so important to have a long list of your work, you know, your awards and your affiliations. It's just going back to giving you guys credibility. You know, same with the reviews, same with the license certifications. You're just making a credible business. And, you know, people pay a lot of money to join these affiliations, and obviously, you know, have to meet a certain criteria. So you should be proud to have them on your profile. So yeah, as I said before, so touching on the awards, I mean, many of Nadine's pros have got loads of awards. She's helped them get so many. This is obviously due to activity. I mean, what tips could you give, obviously, for pros getting awards and things like that?
Well, the awards, as you can see, we have two different kinds. We have the design award and the service award. Going back to the reviews, just, you know, every time a client leaves you a review, just, you know, engage with them. And with constantly doing that, you will be recognized by your homeowners as well. And then going back to why we think having really high definition, beautiful images are important on your profile is because we actually also give an award for that as well.
Yeah, 100%. So these, I mean, these awards get given out every year, and I think they're only given to the top 2-3% of the, obviously the entire amount of professionals that are on the site. So it's broken down by category, and it's broken down by area. So if you've got the top number of reviews in your category, in your area, you'll go for the grey award, which is a service award, and then popularity on photos, that's saves on the photos. So they're going to have to be high quality, like Nadine said. So if you've got the most saves within your category in that area, then you'll be in the running for the green award as well. Lovely. Some guarantees. We obviously did a survey within General Contractors. This is kind of a bit of an insight for you guys. 9 out of 10 respondents provide a written guarantee of their work. The median time period of construction guarantee is 15.5 months, and 14% of respondents promise more than 3 years of coverage. So yeah, so it's just a little inside tips for you guys, for those that are in the industry. You know, after an article that Landscape Management magazine detailed, you know, just making sure that you have that guarantee and all the information there, maintenance, just builds out for a stronger kind of relationship with that homeowner.
when homeowners go through a major construction or design project, it's because they hope to get a solution that will meet their unique lifestyle needs. And a really great way to help them to make this vision a reality is really by giving your project or photo description. It just highlights how specific elements are addressed to special requests that customers wanted for their project. So in this picture, as you can see, if it was just a clean picture, you would think it was just a hallway. But what's really great about the business description next to it, and you can really get the idea behind how this building was built or why the homeowner wanted these pillars. It just kind of shows you the relationship you can have between this project that you have with the client. Once again, building that trust between you and your possible homeowner that looks at this picture and wants to know what was behind this project.
Yeah, I mean, touching on what Nadine said, it's giving the story behind it. If I just looked at this photo without the description, I would just think it's a beautiful hallway. But then you look at the description in the bottom right, you can see the project energy saving features include. It's got a long list of how they've actually incorporated energy saving, features and essential, building items. To obviously save energy with this, but you would have no idea just by looking at the photo. So you obviously given that kind of that context around it and that backstory allows obviously the customer to get a bit more of an insight into the project.
And what's really important is, as we know, Houzz and Home study found that 31% of respondents ranked lower cost as top hiring criteria. So the least important factor to homeowners is looking to hire. So showing just how big the value of the project is, once again, builds that trust, and it's just really good.
Yeah, I mean, what you can see is obviously you've got the costing there. I mean, what I think Nadine's trying to say is obviously you've got a nice big ballpark bracket as well. So you're not given an individual cost, which is quite nice. You're not given a specific cost. I mean, it gives you a bit of leeway to obviously price projects as well, because some projects may be more expensive, some might be cheaper. It just completely depends on the category and depends on the actual project itself. It depends what the materials are going into it. But obviously with this, what we're trying to say is that the cost is really not the most important factor. But I mean, by addressing your cost, it can be a great way to communicate with your clients about the investment level they need to be prepared in order to work with you guys, so setting that level of expectation of cost. It can also help pre-qualify inquiries you receive, leaving you with inquiries that are more in line with your target customers and those that have the budget that kind of resonate with your type of work. But yeah, I mean, however you charge, by providing a price range and description, you're setting the right expectation with homeowners from the very beginning. And that's what it is. The more transparent you can be with your reviews and your pricing, they see the standard of your work through your photos. Bit by bit, you're building out this really beautiful business brand, and there's going to be no hidden surprises or charges. I mean, even with a business description, a page on your website or blog post can be used to describe what you provide to the homeowner as part of their project, whether it's a decade of experience, certifications, large crew, access to trade-only products, or even renderings. This information, coupled with the general price range, allows potential clients to better understand the value that they get working alongside with you guys.
So homeowners really like knowing a pro has, a team of employees and a strong network that they collaborate with. So if you're a home builder or design and build, and you've collaborated with other interior designers, it's really good to highlight that, so that just shows you the highlights, the team members or the sort of industry relationship you have. So when homeowners choose a pro to work on a project, they can already feel that you already have interior designers that you work with already. So Harry.
Yeah, I mean, what you can also see as well, if you think of it from a business to B2B side of things, business to business, if another professional like an architect can see that this contractor has worked alongside other professionals and very well, and they've got this great relationship, they've shared products, they've collaborated on projects, then obviously that's going to incline them to hire them as well. So not only could you obviously draw in work and obviously get more work from obviously the homeowner's perspective, obviously what we specialize in, but it could lead to other work from interior designers, architects. It completely depends on your category. but obviously where it's clearly shown that you can collaborate, and obviously you can collaborate very well, then obviously that could lead to potentially even more work from because you've got to remember, Houzz is just one big community. This can also lead on to getting reviews from them. So not only just showing that you shared and collaborated on a project, but backing that up by a lovely 5-star and a written review. It will state in the relationship that they're a colleague, how much is a project worth and things like this. So, I mean, as I said, it's going back to the whole community of Houzz. It's a one-stop shop. Obviously, homeowners are using it, but at the same time, businesses are on here as well. So if your business wants to collaborate with the business, they can see it work very well. The project looks beautiful, and obviously it's backed up by a great testimonial. Then obviously there's no doubt in my mind that it could potentially lead to more work, and even a strong partnership. If they come back to you, for that specific purpose or that specific service, they could come back to you every time, creating more opportunity for both of you.
So communication skills is, important. We all know that. So according to the House and Home study, 49% of homeowners consider communication and organization skills important in a pro. So, one of the best ways to demonstrate strong communication is through responsiveness. There's nothing worse than, getting an inquiry or anything and then waiting a few days to respond to that. So all throughout the sales process, homeowners are definitely paying attention to that. To how long it takes for pros to respond to them. So if a homeowner perceives this correctly or not, that a pro takes a long time to get back to them before they have committed to hiring the pro, it may spark that fear and that that scare that a project will also take that long to complete once they've signed the contract or started paying the professional. As seasoned pros, you have the chance to work on many projects, but for most homeowners, they will only remodel their home once or update the kitchen once or twice in their lifetime. So homeowners want to feel as though their project is just as important to you as it is for them. So communication is the key to anything.
Yeah, I mean some tips we can give on this one. First, someone should be available to answer the phone during the business hours. Just obviously being able to be responsive, whether it's a kind of administrative assistant, sales representative, or even just answering the service, answering incoming calls. It just shows that you're open for business and they're not ignored. It doesn't instill confidence in the clients who are ready to spend tens of hundreds or thousands of pounds when they call during the business hours. When they hear a tone of a voicemail. Another way to streamline communication is use a pair, set of screener questions. That way, whoever answers the phone can smoothly handle the call and collect the information you need to move forward. And, it could be potentially set up a meeting or a consultation, but you have all the relevant information there to qualify the inquiry. And then, when it comes to email, definitely acknowledge incoming calls in a timely manner. Even if your response is just to say that you're looking into the concern, or just say we'll get back to you within 24 hours, or even asking the homeowner to find a good time to discuss the issue over the phone. It shows that you're responsive and that you're going to get back to the inquiry shortly, not that just they're ignored or left to the bottom of the pile. So some recaps for you. Do one by one. So yeah, request new reviews and reply to reviews. Thank them. Thank you for their kind words, and obviously keep up to date. The sweet spot on Houzz statistically is 8, but if you can get more, the more the merrier.
Upload before photos of past projects, so that you can show how it looked like before, and then really seeing the beautiful transformation afterwards.
Adding license certifications, obviously, as you said, make yourself creditable. If you're part of an affiliation, be proud of that affiliation. As some are in the industry that aren't. So if you've worked hard and you've gone through many hoops to get through to that, then obviously be proud of that. Go into the affiliations bit and then get them added onto your profile.
As well as add information about the guarantees and warranties. As we said, 9 out of 10 respondents provide a written guarantee of their work.
Definitely. Adding your typical job costs and price ranges for past projects. This is extremely important. If you want to be as transparent as possible and attract the right type of clients, you need to set a level expectation of cost. When they come through and they see your work, you don't want them to think or believe that you're cheaper than you are.
Exactly, and as well, lastly, add the collaborators on the past projects and write reviews for colleagues. As we said, this really builds trust and just shows you how big you are in the industry, and that there's trust from other colleagues. So yeah, reviews are important.
Definitely. So yeah, I mean, some other bits and little pointers we can just run through very quickly. Get photos of past projects. Speak out. Go back. I don't know if you're in a position to obviously go back and get new photographs, but if you haven't, got photographs of that completed project, you put all that time and effort, and you haven't gone back and actually got the photos of the completed project. So get in contact with them, ask them, how's it all looking? Are you happy with obviously the work we completed? Would you mind us revisiting and getting some photos?
Mm-hmm. And as well, enter projects for awards. Those are really important. Once again, just builds that credibility, as well as, the new license and certifications, the awards that we give you. So once again, just the reviews are important, acknowledging the reviews, so that, and the licenses as well, just to, that build that credibility if you're an architect, and,
Definitely. And assign someone to respond to incoming client inquiries, or have something in place that responds to them automatically, so you can get back to them at a more suitable time for yourself, but at least they've been acknowledged. Lovely, guys. So now that's all been covered, all the tips, I'm going to open up the floor to discussion, up to some questions from the audience. First up, I think we got a question from Laura, who says what is the optimal number of project photos to upload? Really good question. I mean, in general, you want to upload as many high quality photos as you possibly get. Try and get photos from every project you've done to make your portfolio as rich as possible. Get detailed shots on multiple angles of the rooms, not just one photo per room, and outdoor spaces wherever it's possible. Even potential client isn't looking for the same type of work you did for another client. All past projects show your skill and that you're in the right demand for other clients. One person's taste might be suited to theirs, but it could be, for other people, they love that project, they love that style.
All right, so next I see a question from Josh, who asks, what's the link to submit a project to the writing team at Houzz? So of course, that link is www.houzz.co.uk/editorial submissions. Again, it's just repeated, it's www.houzz.co.uk/editorial submissions.
Lovely. So so ProPlus, I don't know if you guys are aware, it's our local pay program. It allows you guys to be seen thousands of times a month in front of our affluent homeowners for larger selected projects over the years. It's for those that really want to build a brand and kind of take Houzz to the next level. So as you can see on the screen, we've got the 5 key areas of Houzz. With obviously the ProPlus, it's really important that we make a consistent presence across all of these. The homeowner journey on Houzz is those that are looking for inspiration, they're looking for ideas, and then ideas are coming to life, obviously by either buying products or hiring a professional. Lovely. So the first place we're going to do this is obviously the photo stream. We need to make sure that your work is consistently seen throughout the photo stream. We've reserved spots across the photo stream to make sure that you are seen. We showcase your strongest images because we want to showcase the work that's going to attract more of that type of work. Everyone knows like attracts like, so we get quite creative, and then we give you bold branding to highlight what you specialize in and what type of work you want to attract more of. The second place is the directory. The directory is a fantastic place. We're slowly moving more and more towards the end of the design process now. They're looking for a local pro. We've actually reserved all the even spots for our local professionals, but you will never lose your free international level as well. So sometimes if you target your local area, you'll find that you have 2 listings, but the predominant aim of this is to make sure when they look in their local area that you're on that first page. And we can do that by limiting who we work with, because ProPlus is not available to everyone. We have a select number of partners within each geographical area, so we can rotate you amongst these even spots. Project match, so unlike the other 2 slides that you just saw, the photo stream and directory is where your bigger and more larger designer work will come from. They've seen your brand, they've seen your work, they know what you're capable of, so they will hire you directly based on that. With Project Match, it's something we introduced last year to ensure that our partners are getting a quicker return on investment, but they're getting the right type of clients.
So that a person will come onto Houzz with a live project. Internally, they will fill in a form. They fill in a full scope of works. And then based on that services, as long as it aligns with what you want to offer, we'll recommend you as a leading professional in that area. So it's a real way to kind of really filter down what type of inquiries come through Houzz, but also a way for someone that's never found you, never seen your work, for us to actually recommend you as a leading professional. But all of this is essentially just trying to drive traffic to your profile. Mentioned before, the profile is so important. What you'll find is you have a really low click-through rate to your website. The reason being is because you have every bit of information on your Houzz profile. You'll have the typical job costs, so setting the level of expectation of cost, your beautiful work to see all the different types of portfolio that you can offer, and then obviously the story of the business and just everything else that comes with the Houzz profile. At the top, you can see where it says bring your project to life for 250, and the bold branding above the category. These are essential with the Pro Plus because these are the bold branding and the branding element that will be sponsored across your ads. We keep a very close eye on what comes from Houzz in many different ways. The account manager will look after your profile. You'll get 3 types of inquiries on Houzz. You'll get direct messages, you'll get direct telephone calls, which are automatically enabled call tracking. We introduced this last year as well because we want to keep a close eye on those that come through telephone inquiries. And this number will only be advertised on your Houzz profile, nowhere else. So as you can see here, you've got inbox. So your hot leads, so your project match leads will come through into your inbox as well as direct messages. And also you can see here, you can go into your call log and see what calls on what day have come from Houzz. On top of that, not only are we tracking calls, we track the number of profile views, and you'll get an analytic dashboard covering everything from photos added to idea book, how many inquiries you had, and you can have a clear representation of your free international listing against your local listing. And then the biggest key selling point about the Houzz program is the account manager. They all come from marketing background. They know Houzz better than anyone else. It's really hard within the industry to kind of, focus on on-site projects and quotes and everything else, and then try and dedicate time to marketing if you don't have an employee to do so. With Houzz, we do that for you. We can run the campaign. They really understand the type of work that you're looking to attract and what direction you're taking the business. You could be looking to increase your digital footprint. You could be looking to expand. You could be looking to take on larger inquiries, more design-led, and trying to attract a new market. This is the person that's really going to help you. They are your right-hand man. They can do other stuff as well, like obviously upload photos and do all the nitty-gritty bits of marketing, but essentially they're your marketing guru when it comes to Houzz. So use them wisely. It is a two-way street. You put in as much as you get out, but obviously having that person here in the London office is fantastic.
Lovely, guys. So they're obviously all the benefits of Pro Plus. This ties in quite nicely to what we've actually spoke about today, obviously relating to your branding and everything like that. If you are interested and want to find out some more information, we've got many representatives that can get in touch and give you all the information you need. You can obviously just contact ukprocommunity@houzz.com. One of our lovely representatives will be happy to help and give you more detail. As you know, every package is customizable. So we'll get back to you and kind of see what's the best fit for you. Thank you, guys. Take care. Bye.